What does God say to Abraham when he establishes his covenant with Abraham? I will establish my covenant between thee and me and thy seed after thee in their generations for an everlasting covenant, and I will be a God unto thee and to thy seed after thee. The same thing we find here. You would almost be inclined to say that the prophet Jeremiah, who first spoke these words, and the author of this epistle, used these words from God's mouth to Abraham, always and over again in the Psalms. That same expression appears. I will be your God, and ye shall be my people. Think, for example, how in the New Testament that same theme recurs. Paul in 2 Corinthians 6, when he admonishes the Corinthians not to be unequally yoked with unbelievers, admonishes the Corinthians also to refuse any kind of fellowship with unbelievers, because God then will say to them, ye are my sons and my daughters, the family of God. Now, even, and you are aware of that, I'm sure, even the description of the covenant in heaven, when it is fulfilled finally at the day of the return of Christ, is described in the same words. The tabernacle of God shall be with men, and he will dwell with them, and he will be their God, and they shall be his people, and God shall wipe away all tears from their eyes. That formula is used again and again in the scriptures to indicate the fact that the covenant is not a pact, an agreement reached by some negotiations between God and man. It is not an agreement prickly with conditional promises that have to be fulfilled both by God and man for the covenant to be realized. No, it is a covenant of friendship, and the friendship is this: God and his people, whom he takes into his covenant, are friends. The formula, I will be their God and they will be my people, is used because it is not a friendship between equals, but a friendship between the living God and man. God is the friend of his people. So, if the Baptist tries to push this passage onto you as proof that the covenant is no more, and you point them to the fact that here in verse 10, the same formula is used to describe the covenant throughout the old dispensation. Nevertheless, as God revealed the riches of his covenant in the old dispensation, because Christ had not yet come, he revealed the riches of his covenant in, I would say, if I may use the language of the text, in a faulty way. There was fault in the Old Testament manifestation and revelation and administration of the covenant. I call your attention once more to the text. Verse 9 says, this new covenant, which I will establish with the house of Israel and with the house of Judah, is not according to the covenant that I made with their fathers in the day when I took them by the hand to lead them out of the land of Egypt, because they continued not in my covenant, and I regarded them not, saith the Lord. What was that covenant that God made with their fathers when he took them by the hand and led them out of the land of Egypt? That covenant is described in Exodus 19. And undoubtedly, Jeremiah had that passage in mind when he made his prophecy to the people. And so did the apostle when he wrote these words. Listen to what the Lord says. And I might call your attention to the fact of the covenant. I call your attention once more to the text. Verse 9 says, this new covenant, which I will establish with the house of Israel and with the house of Judah, is not according to the covenant that I made with their fathers in the day when I took them by the hand to lead them out of the land of Egypt, because they continued not in my covenant, and I regarded them not, saith the Lord. What was that covenant that God made with their fathers when he took them by the hand and led them out of the land of Egypt? That covenant is described in Exodus 19. And undoubtedly, Jeremiah had that passage in mind when he made his prophecy to the people. And so did the apostle when he wrote these words. Listen to what the Lord says. And I might call your attention to the fact that this is, in Exodus 19, an introduction to the law. Because in verse 20, you read the law of the Ten Commandments, which God gave to Israel through Moses. Chapter 19, you read this. Ye have seen what I did unto the Egyptians, and how I bare you on eagle's wings, and brought you unto myself. And then this, now therefore, if ye will obey my voice indeed, and keep my covenant, then ye shall be a peculiar treasure unto me above all people, for all the earth is mine. That was the covenant. In other words, the covenant as it was revealed in the old dispensation was a covenant that had as its basis the law. Obedience to the law. And only when Israel and Judah obeyed the law would God be their God, and would they be his people. Israel understood that. They understood very well that the realization of the covenant depended upon their obedience to the law. Now you understand, of course, the majority of the Israelites didn't care. They didn't care about God's covenant. They didn't care about the law. They didn't care about the worship of God. All of it was of none account. But the people of God in the old dispensation labored under that impossible condition to the covenant. Keep my law. Then I will be your God, and you shall be my peculiar treasure above all people. But if you don't break my law, then you will be cast out.